And let's head to the courts, where the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Tsoho, has reassigned the case of IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu to a new judge. Kanu's legal team had pushed for this change, opposing the return of the case to Justice Binta Nyako after her recusal. Lead counsel Aloy Ejimakor confirmed the development, revealing that they received official letters from the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Chief Judge on Friday. Kanu, convinced of his innocence, expressed gratitude to the CJN for her swift intervention. His legal team says that they are now focused on preparing for his defense, emphasizing the importance of a fair and speedy trial. To discuss this, we're joined by a lawyer and public affairs analyst, Justice Ojienoh. Thank you for joining us on the news, Justice.
It's my pleasure.
So, Justice, speak to us on what you feel this reassignment of Kanu's case means for his legal battle and also the IPOB, that's a broader IPOB movement.
Okay, for me, I think that it is a good one. It is something that they have already expressed their happiness about, because we usually say that justice is a three-way street, especially when it is criminal justice, as in this case. Justice as perceived by the defense, justice as perceived by the prosecution, and justice as perceived by the public, the people generally. And it used to be just two, because the defense was very, very disappointed, and they did not hide their disappointment. They came frontally to say that they were not happy about the constitution of the courts, and as headed by Justice Binta Nyako, for reasons which they stated. But now I'm very, very happy that at least they have been granted the request of another judge, even though the name of the new judge has not been announced yet. So I'm very happy that at least however it goes, everybody will be to a large extent satisfied that it was actually a neutral judge, a neutral judex, a neutral referee that decided based on the evidence presented before the court. And I hope and pray that at the end of the day, despite the fact that there are options of appeal to the Court of Appeal, to the Supreme Court, everybody will still be satisfied that they may not be satisfied. One party may not be satisfied with the eventual decision, but it should not be because they feel that the judge was biased. It should be that because the judge didn't consider one or two things, but not on grounds of serious bias.
Well, Justice, Kanu's legal team has described past proceedings as unfair. How significant is this change in ensuring a fair trial?
Okay, for me, another thing we have to note is that sometimes it's not because of whether a judge was actually fair or not. A lot of times it's the perception of fairness, and perception, especially when it is substantial, the court will usually say that it is sufficient to ground or to be able to allow for a change in the judex. And I feel that since they have been clamoring that for one reason or the other, and some of the allegations that they put on the front burner was because the husband of the Honorable Justice and the son of the Honorable Justice is currently being quizzed by the Nigerian government for potentially some corrupt means, and that may be a heavy burden or blackmail on the judge to decide in favor of the government. I feel that, well, if they actually feel that is the Kanu's people and Kanu himself feel that may weigh on the judge to rule in favor of the government. So since they are saying that to the average person too, if you leave it to the average person, if the average person too thinks in that way, then the court will have no option. The administrative judge and the chief justice in this situation, they have no option than to pull one or two inferences to ensure that, okay, the matter is now presented before another judge, so that if the matter is decided eventually in favor of the government, it will be because of some other excuses, and it will not be because of the bias of the judge. And I must come out to say that, except for high-stake cases like this, it is unusual for a defendant to be the one to say he wants to choose, he or she wants to choose his own judge or the judge that will sit upon his matter. It is because it's high stakes, and we only see it in these political cases or these other high-profile cases. It's not particular to him, but I must make the average Nigerian know that 99% of the time, it is the judge that the matter is assigned to that actually handle it, and this shouldn't be seen as a regular occurrence.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your take on this, Justice Ojienoh.
My pleasure.